to this year's Academy Awards and to this year's Razzie Awards. For those of you who relish finding out what some of the worst movies, in some people's opinion, were released this year. It's also Black History Month, the last day, but still so many stories to tell, particularly local history. And former Judge Derek Mosley is a positive force in Milwaukee, an absolute wealth of knowledge. Hear Derek Mosley share some of his stories in the 7 o'clock hour. And starting off What's on Tap tonight by getting a sense check of the level of interest in the Academy Awards and the predictions of some of my teammates here at Good Karma Brands. And roving around with the microphone, these are the answers I got to one question. What film will win Best Picture at the Academy Awards?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know.
Oh, that one picture where there's people in it and there's music. And I'm going to say probably, since I haven't seen any of them, Conclave.
Wicked. For sure, Wicked.
I'm gonna have to go with Wicked because I love Ariana Grande. She deserves it.
I'm just gonna pick it based on the title alone. A Complete Unknown is going to win because, just like me, completely unknown.
I have no idea. I haven't seen any movie this year.
Yeah, come on.
But if I had to pick, I would say Wicked because it's everywhere.
I don't even know what's out. I don't really see movies. I'm not a movie guy.
Gotta go with my girl, Best Disney Princess, Moana 2, and a blowout.
The Demi Moore picture. I don't know the name of it, but I hear she's crazy. It's nutty and it's hard to watch, but everybody's talking about it.
The Substance.
I'm voting Wicked, for sure. I don't know the other ones. Maybe Dune.
It's never the one that I want to win or the one I've seen.
I'm going to go with Wicked. You know what? Honestly, because due to all the promotion, it's probably going to be Wicked. Yeah, I'm going to go with Wicked.
I've seen Wicked, and I loved it. I think that one's going to win, but I also heard The Substance is really good.
What I think should win,
there you go,
Dune Part 2. What probably will win, The Brutalist. I think it's getting a lot of that rising late stage hype, and it just feels like that kind of auteur pick that the Academy will want.
I'd have to go with Dune on that one.
Look, I'm going to go with A Complete Unknown because I'm becoming a huge fan of Timothée Chalamet.
Oppenheimer's probably the only one that I've seen.
Pick
oh,
a
you
winner.
mean the upcoming one, not the one that's already happened. I'm a big Broadway fan, so yeah, I gotta go with Wicked then.
The Substance.
The Substance. I loved it so much.
Did you watch all the way to the end?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I want to do the Halloween costume.
The one that I didn't see.
Which is?
All of them.
Those are some of my Good Karma Brands teammates giving their opinions on the Academy Awards Best Picture nominees. And for the record, Moana 2 is not nominated, but sounds like Wicked is a favorite, followed by The Substance and Dune 2, Complete Unknown, and Conclave and Brutalist got mentions in there. What about you? The Academy Awards, do you love them? Are you a casual viewer for the comedy Conan O'Brien will bring or the potentially ridiculous red carpet looks? Or do you just hate them? Just want to spend your time scrubbing grout on Sunday night? Tell me. It's Signing Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text Line, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Your comments, opinions, any questions about the Academy Awards, bring them on. Why not? And we have insightful observations from a person who makes a living in the movie world. My next guest on What's on Tap is Milwaukee Film Programming Director Kirsten Larson. What is Kirsten's perspective on this year's Oscars nominees and the ceremony? Has Kirsten ever been to the Oscars? That's coming up on WTMJ.
I'm Libby Collins. So many families have been affected by Alzheimer's and dementia. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we take an in-depth look at a study that has taken over 40 years with Sister Charlene Zizek.
We always believed that after death we don't need our brain, and so they saw that as a way to contribute.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
For every inadequacy and sin in your life, you and I have help. You have a Savior in Jesus Christ. God loves you so much, He is joyful to rescue you, to do His divine rehab of your life. It's good to be with Jesus.
We revisit a classic message from Pastor Gregory Seltz this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ. For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Oscars are coming up on Sunday, the Academy Awards, which is, I'd say, kind of like the Super Bowl for the Hollywood industry, and just a lot of pomp and circumstance, and going to be a fun evening to watch on ABC on Sunday night. And one of our local film folks from Milwaukee Film, the programming director, Kirsten Larson, is with me. Kirsten, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Sandy?
I am good. Thank you for spending your Friday night with me. Would you rather be doing something else other than talking movies?
No, if I wasn't talking movies, I'd be watching movies. So it's all the same to me.
So what are your thoughts? You just heard me asking Good Karma Brand's teammates about who they predict will win Best Picture on Sunday night. Lots of folks thinking Wicked. Let me go through the list for everyone listening, because they're like, wait a minute, catch me up. Of the nominees, so I'm scrambling here. Here we go. The Best Picture nominees, all 10 of them. Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Kirsten, what's your gut on who will win?
So I did my research because at work we always have an Oscar pool, and I go with my heart instead of what the data shows. And so what the data actually shows, I think, is Anora, which I think has sort of been a sleeper hit at this point, the dark horse, I would say. Because, yeah, like a lot of people were rooting for The Brutalist, but I feel like Anora has sort of risen from the ashes. And so that will be really interesting because, like you were saying, there's 10 nominees, and that's so many. Like, there used to not be that many. And so I think it gives an opportunity for these sort of smaller movies to have their opportunity to maybe win awards. And so that's why you have Wicked alongside Anora, and people can be interested in both and maybe check out something they've never heard of before.
And I can tell you, I saw Anora. I've seen Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, The Substance, and Wicked. So I've seen over half of the nominees. And I can tell you, I thought Anora, which is about a Brooklyn sex worker who marries the son of a Russian oligarch. There's your one-sentence summary without giving any spoilers away. I thought it was going to be like a John Wick action movie. I'm like, I don't know that this is for me. I wonder how it got nominated. But after watching it, number one, I really enjoyed it. I laughed more than I thought I would. And it reminded me of Fargo, of that sensibility of, I don't know where this is going, and there's comedy in it, but there's also danger, but they're real characters with some depth in it, not just cartoon-type characters. So I can say I really enjoyed it. And I can also tell you, you did your research, Kirsten. Las Vegas is picking, really, Anora as the most favored film for both Best Picture and also for Sean Baker as director.
Cool. Well, I'm not telling anyone to put money down on it. But that's my pick.
This is also where it goes back to the Super Bowl of the film industry, where you can make prop bets on almost everything.
Yeah,
This is the fun. So you did your research, but what's your heart say?
Oh, my heart says The Substance. I'm so excited that that's nominated, and it's so rare for like a horror movie to be nominated for Best Picture. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm just really happy it gets recognized. But I agree with your colleagues who just think it's the coolest.
I've got to tell you, now when Demi Moore won at the Golden Globes for her role in The Substance, I was surprised, number one, and because a horror movie getting nominated, but I read the synopsis. I'm like, oh, well, I don't really like horror movies, but let me give this a chance. Got to be worthwhile. Oh my God, Kirsten. I went to Wikipedia and I read the plot, every single inch of it, because I didn't want to get scared. And I was like, okay, but I want to see this film. gross, triple gross blood and gore. And that's not my jam.
Yeah.
So, but then Demi Moore won another award. So I'm like, okay, there must be something to this. Let's just see how far I can get into it. Now, I'm streaming this at home. I thought I'd get about 17 minutes in. I made it in a 2-hour, 20-minute film. I made it to an hour and 49.
That was pretty good.
Before I had to tap out. But then when I stopped, I saw there was 30 more minutes. And I was like, oh, no. I can't do 30 more minutes of gross. No. Over the top gross. So, but it is resonating with people. And I will tell you what I did see of the substance, 3/4 of it, stylish, smart. I kind of equate it to the Barbie movie with thought-provoking ideas and themes, really creatively well done storytelling, but it's just so over the top.
It really is.
Gore,
And
did you see it in a theater?
I did see it in a theater a
and you
couple
stayed to the end?
times.
No!
Well, for the first time I had to. It was for work, if you can imagine. But yeah, the second time was voluntary. And I mean, another thing that I think could be cool is if it wins for makeup and hairstyling, because you just see like all the crazy stuff that happens throughout the movie and all the effects they have to do.
Basically, for those who haven't seen it yet, you know how beautiful Demi Moore has preserved herself. She looks fantastic in a gown. But so you see a beautiful Demi Moore, you see her au naturel, and that was actually, it was like, oh, okay, that's helpful. She is like a 60-something woman now. It's like, okay, she is aging naturally. She's still very thin and beautiful, but it also made me explore like my body thoughts and my biases that I'm already putting on, well, she's Hollywood beautiful. But she basically turns into a witch throughout the transformation in hair and makeup. And I see now why it is nominated. Boy, Nosferatu, though, very, very stylish. That's the competition for hair and makeup.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the thing I like about all these nominees is they're so diverse in range and content and all of that. So we'll just see what happens.
We're going to talk more Oscars, and if you have any questions or comments about the Academy Awards or about Milwaukee Film's plans this year, feel free. Join us in our conversation. Citing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. I'm Sandy Mack. She is Kirsten Larson of Milwaukee Film. More Oscars talk next on What's on Tap.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
A last-minute request now to delay SROs from entering NPS has been submitted by the Milwaukee City Attorney, Evan Goyke.
Eric Billstad.
Milwaukee's former city attorney, Tierman Spencer, is accused of using his position for personal gain in a property dispute. He's now pleading not guilty.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Volume starting to pick up a little bit, especially through the stadium interchange.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Ortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris are joined by Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
The Academy Awards Sunday. Milwaukee Film, always here in Milwaukee. And I've invited Milwaukee Film Programming Director Kirsten Larson to join me for some thoughts and insights, because you are in the movie industry. And Milwaukee Film, especially with the film festival, tends to not go for the big blockbusters. Tends to really support the more original, creative side of things, the independent films, the documentaries. But you don't get into the film world without kind of getting lured in. What is one of your very favorite, like, Oscar-type films?
This was very influential to me when I was younger, but I just loved all the Lord of the Rings movies. And so when Return of the King was just sweeping the entire ceremony, that was when, as a kid, I was really locked in. And I'm like, we got to see what's going to happen. Are they going to win all the categories? And of course they did. So I've just been an addict ever since.
And that's good to hear, because I think sometimes people have a conception like, oh, they know Milwaukee Film and Milwaukee Film Festival, and that focus is on independent films from around the world and also created right here in Wisconsin. But, if you love film, you love film. So thanks for your insights on Best Picture. I do think it'd be interesting if Enora wins. I think Conclave, though, especially with all this talk of the Pope.
I know.
Newsworthiness.
It's like crazy.
And we've been talking about films that we think are interesting, worth seeing. Are there Oscar-nominated films being screened at the Oriental and the Downer?
Currently, just at the Oriental. But yeah, if you need to squeeze in some last-minute screenings, we are showing the nominated documentary No Other Land, which is about documenting Palestine through a Palestinian journalist and an Israeli journalist teaming up and sort of documenting that and sharing their stories together, which I think is really powerful, and we're really happy to be able to share that. And then we're also showing all 3 of the Oscar Shorts programs, which really gets into the nitty-gritty. So if you want to win your Oscar pool, you got to go. So there's the animated shorts program, the documentary shorts program, and live action. You will be the wonder of your Oscar party. And so highly recommend. And then we're also showing the Brazilian film I'm Still Here, which is both nominated for Best International Film and Best Picture. And the main actress, Fernanda Torres, is nominated for Best Actress. So,
and she won the Golden Globe, which shocked a lot of people.
She's incredible. So everyone has to go and check it out, because I think it's totally, totally worth it. But yeah, those are the 3 we're showing right now. So some last-minute films if you want to do a marathon tomorrow.
Now, do you wind up making a night of it on Sunday? Will you camp out in front of the TV?
Absolutely. And I know I'm a movie lady, but I love the red carpet so much too. So that adds a ton onto it. And so I got to get all my snacks, get comfy, and just let it wash over me. It is my Super Bowl, like you said.
Yeah. And the red carpet is always interesting to see who is trying to get noticed. Like, hey, pay attention to me because I'd like to get cast in your next film.
Mm-hmm.
So the outlandish is always of interest. And then to see, and also, I know they're all styled. All these celebrities are styled by people. So somewhere there's a larger overview of what's trending and what's now, but like, was it last year where like everybody was in sequins? That made me very happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sparkly. And then some years it's all jewel tones and other years it's all pastel. So not that I'm going to adopt the look, but it is interesting to see the visual fashion artistic trend that's woven into the film industry as well. And then, so you're gonna get the red carpet, you're gonna get your popcorn. I think Conan O'Brien is going to make an interesting host this year.
I think he'll do great. Like, it seems like something he's born to do.
And because he's sharp, he's written for The Simpsons, he's had his own live talk show for years. Like, I feel like it's an environment that he can get used to quickly. But he's also, as much as Ricky Gervais gets the eyes and the, ooh, what's he going to say now?
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien doesn't have that mean streak.
Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's just
I don't
like,
need any drama.
Yeah.
The drama is the movies. Like, the ceremony can just be fun.
But I think he'll be topical. But I think for as much comedy as Conan O'Brien is going to bring, this is going to be an interesting tone for the Academy Awards. There were already tributes and segments planned to honor first responders for the California wildfires because the announcements had to be postponed twice because of the disasters happening there in January. Now you've got a musical tribute to Quincy Jones, which I'm looking forward to. But now, with the mysterious circumstances of Gene Hackman passing away, immediately, for better or worse, I thought when Gene Hackman's death was announced, I was like, oh, somebody's scrambling. They're going to add that at the in memoriam.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ignore two-time winner Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I wonder what more they might do to honor Gene Hackman at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, I feel like probably just incorporating him into the in memoriam, and I feel like they usually try to keep it pretty even keeled, so they're not like honoring one person more than another. And that Quincy Jones segment will be amazing because I don't know, you have to
meaningful, but I know it inevitably somebody gets left out and somebody's salty about it. So hopefully it's as inclusive. But I think it's going to be an interesting tone this year. Usually everybody's on pins and needles like, oh, what's everybody going to say politically, which I'm sure is going to be a dynamic this year as well. But I think there are bigger things happening this year. And one of the funny things I heard about Conan O'Brien as he's preparing, that he's taking this seriously because he cares that Bob Hope used to host, Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, and that he even got advice from Jimmy Kimmel, who's hosted 4 times, and that the wisdom that Jimmy Kimmel shared was, it's a long show. Preserve your energy. You can tell some of your jokes sitting down. There you go. So
good advice.
But I think for the people who are just casual movie goers, I think there's still something to enjoy when you've got somebody as fun and quirky isn't quite the right word, but he can be off the wall. Conan O'Brien having fun, gangly and 6'5" in his tuxedo and his big orange shock of hair. And Conan O'Brien on a streak. This is a good year for him. He's also going to win the Mark Twain Prize for Humor in a couple of months. So yeah, there's a lot to like about the Academy Awards. We're going to find out a little more locally what some of the updates are at Milwaukee Film. Brand new executive director at the lead and other film news. So that's next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Ready to upgrade your home's exterior? Family owned and operated since 1983, J&J Contractors specializes in top quality windows, doors, and siding that enhance your home while increasing its value and energy efficiency. From modern vinyl siding to stylish fiberglass doors, and from double hung windows to sliding glass doors, they have the perfect solutions for your home. Contact them today for a free consultation. Just search online J&J Contractors or call 414-423-9200. J&J Contractors. Welcome home.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey there, I'm Sandy. Max, thank you so much for hanging out with us on What's on Tap.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
I'm Sandy. Max, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this Friday night on What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. In the studio with me from Milwaukee Film, Programming Director Kirsten Larson. Kirsten, we've been talking Academy Awards and big blockbuster movies, and I guess I would say some independent films and foreign films getting attention in the Academy Awards. But let's talk about what's happening here at Milwaukee Film. How have things been going with, gosh, a whole month with Dr. Susan Kearns as the new executive director?
They've been going great. She's easing into things, but as we were talking about, the festival is right around the corner, so we'll really throw her into the fire. Although she's had lots of experience with the film festival since she used to be in charge of the education department, so that will be old hat, but it will be a little bit new hat as well. But yeah, things have been going great. We always have fun series going on throughout the month, so we're excited to get into March and have a few things to share with everybody.
In such a timely world, you and I were just talking about the unfortunate and now very mysterious death of Gene Hackman, along with his wife and one of his pet dogs. Does this, I love how many different series Milwaukee Film embraces, different themes, whether it's Black History Month or spotlighting a performer. Do you expect that you may do a Gene Hackman type series?
We definitely
been
could.
discussed?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 3 days or something.
I know,
So we gotta get it together. But that's a pretty good idea. And we'll be like community partners, Sandy Max, What's on Tap. Her idea.
well, but it's been great. You've spotlighted Gene Wilder recently. I mean, it's been a lot of fun seeing the creativity and those films that bring people back into the theater. Last year during the Olympics were the sports-themed films, and to be able to see Major League, a movie that's so beloved, especially in this town, that people have seen on streaming and on their DVD, but to see that movie on the big screen and get the nuances more and really see a time capsule of our city. Really seeing things on the big screen and with other people when you hear just a bit outside and everybody laughs, that's what's magic about the cinema. So being able to see something like The French Connection, which Gene Hackman won the Academy Award for Best Actor, being able to see The Unforgiven, these movies that we talk about as soon as you hear somebody in memoriam at the Oscars, you do want to go back and revisit those things. So yes, you and I can sidebar on a Gene Hackman Film Festival. We'll do that off air. I just know how much the team at Milwaukee Film really truly is passionate about film.
For sure. And as far as like people-centered series go. We have a couple in March, so as we were talking about celebrating people behind the camera, we're going to have a series about the editor Thelma Schoonmaker, who is the editor on like all of Martin Scorsese's movies, and she's won the editing Oscar the most times. And
just in time for Women's History Month.
Exactly,
well done.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So those will be some big screen hits for sure. We're showing Raging Bull, After Hours, Casino, The Departed, and those will all be Tuesdays throughout March. So that's going to be a really good one. And then we're also doing a series about Pam Grier, the blaxploitation actress. So we're going to be showing Foxy Brown and Coffee. And then another one is Jawbreaker, which is sort of like a late night teen movie where she's a detective in it, and sort of like a Heathers situation, but in the 90s. And I think that's going to be fantastic as well. So we just really want to celebrate these individuals who make cinema so enjoyable for all of us.
And in a great space, too, whether it's at the Oriental or the Downer. You're at a neighborhood theater. It's a great East Side experience. And then I had, as a guest, Josh Schmidt, renowned local sound designer and composer and musician. He was my guest a couple days ago. I was like, was it yesterday? The week just flew by. But he just scored, as much as he's had decades of experience doing the sound design for everybody from Milwaukee Rep to Renaissance Theater Works and First Stage. He scored the film, the brand new film, The End, which is having a special screening tomorrow night at the Oriental Theater. And Josh will be there for a Q&A afterwards, along with Joshua Oppenheimer. And The End is chock full of great talent. Michael Shannon, Tilda Swinton, a British actor who I like named Tim McInerney, but another kind of interesting in this blush of Amelia Perez and Wicked, where the musical is getting attention. The End is a musical. And a musical about a bunch of people trapped underground because they can't live on the crust of the earth and those dynamics. So it sounds like, again, another really interesting film to be seeing on the big screen. And
definitely.
One of the great things about Milwaukee Film is that access to Q&A to get to know the filmmakers better. And one of the stories that Josh Schmidt told, I just told you, it's underground. They actually filmed for almost a month underground.
That's fascinating.
It's terrifying. You're just like, I was like, you would think it's a set somewhere.
Right.
But no, somebody scouted and went to Europe and went near Mount Etna, an active volcano, and to really create the underground environment for the movie The End.
Yeah, and that's something about the movie that I think will be great for having an in-person screening at a theater with a Q&A. Is I think the movie is going to create a lot of questions, and you'll have the opportunity to have them answered. And something I'm really interested in is the director, Joshua Oppenheimer, has traditionally done documentaries. And so from him to pivot from documentaries to a post-apocalyptic musical is just, I need to know why.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool that someone from Milwaukee gets to help him out and realize his vision.
And that's been a 5-year project for Josh Schmidt. So how long has this original idea been in the heads and now coming to, it's like just that whole filmmaking process is fascinating. So that is tomorrow night. The End is the name of that film and the special screening, and Q&A hosted by Morning Blend entertainment critic and Oz historian Ryan J. He gets to go to a different world, an un-Oz world, but I love that access. And speaking of access, before I let you go, tell me what to look forward to, one or two highlights that you can reveal for the Milwaukee Film Festival.
So, for the Milwaukee Film Festival, one is kind of generic, but we all know it's going to happen, is I love all of our local film series programs, and so our Milwaukee Show programs are always so joyful. I definitely recommend people come to one of them, and you get to see local filmmakers share their films, and everyone who supports them are there, and you're all clapping for everyone, and it makes me so happy. So definitely come to one of those. And then speaking of Nosferatu from before, we're playing the old Nosferatu, the silent film, with a live musical accompaniment, Main House of the Oriental. It'll be incredible.
It will. That's still a very distribing film. It's 100 years old.
I know.
And I still get haunted by
it's
the
scary.
shadow of
It started it all.
That is Milwaukee Film Festival, April 24th through May 8th. Circle your calendar. Look forward to the program. mkefilm.org is the website. Kirsten Larson, programming director, thank you so much for chatting film with me, and Oscars and continued success to Milwaukee Film.
Thank you very much.
I wish you good luck in your Oscar pool, too.
Thank you.
Stay with us here on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
It puts you in a good mood, doesn't it? Beer Barrel Polka. And come with me to Germany, to Austria, to the Czech Republic, and taste some beer. Oh, yeah. We're going to do it right. I am thrilled to invite you to a cultural beer and brewery journey through Europe with me in September. I've been sharing, we just announced it last week. If you haven't checked out the brochure yet, WTMJ.com, you can find it there, or text the word TRIP to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Text TRIP to 855-616-1620. Get a link to the brochure. You can scroll through it there. Heck, copy that link and share it with a friend, because you're going to want to travel around with me. This is some good, authentic, unique beer sipping, which is just really the gateway to also see historic buildings and enjoy culture in Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. We're going to go to Munich, Salzburg, Vienna, and Prague. And we're going to get exclusive brewery tours and tastings. We will have lunch at the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. Yes, with the great big steins and the music. I've been to Hofbrauhaus for lunch in 2014. I was there, and it was just as much fun as you would think it would be. paintings on the inside of the restaurant. It's super fun. We're also going to go to Stiegl Brewery in Austria, which is the oldest private brewery. We're going to get a special tour there. And in the Czech Republic, maybe you've heard of Budweiser Budvar. They've had an ongoing battle back and forth with the St. Louis Budweiser over the name for years, but it is a special place to go and enjoy beer in the Czech Republic. And those are just some of the stops. We are going to stop at the Neuschwanstein Castle, which was the inspiration that Walt Disney had for the Sleeping Beauty Castle. And you know how much I love music. See? Gonna play some more of it. This is not Mozart, but Mozart was born in Salzburg, and we will get to stroll around and see where Mozart grew up, and Salieri, if you remember the movie Amadeus. We're going to stroll Vienna, which has a Ringstrasse, which is just basically a big street that circles the city. All kinds of gorgeous architecture and different museums, including the Vienna Opera House, and Prague, which I've never been to, but I've heard wonderful things about Prague really being one of the most stunning cities in Europe. And this is one of those great things when you come on a group trip. You don't have to plan anything. It's all been done. It's very stress-free. We just kind of wake up, enjoy a good breakfast, show up, take the walking tour, take the coach to another fantastic landmark. We get to do private tours and guided experience that general tourists don't get access to. So come with me. We'll stay in 4-star hotels and really do it right. If you've been meaning to use your passport, this is a great excuse. Steve Bertrand Travel makes it easy for us. Text the word TRIP, T-R-I-P, to the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. That's TRIP, 855-616-1620. Or let me email you, sandy@WTMJ.com, SANDY@WTMJ.com. Let's travel Europe together, sip some beer, and have some fun.
Warmer temps are on the way. It's time for the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ. Get all the tips, tricks, and best practices to improve your home with our trusted partners, including Kohler Services, Yutka Fence, and Ridgetop Exteriors. So be listening for all of our interviews coming up on the air. Plus, we'll post everything for you. You can listen anytime at WTMJ.com. It's the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Spring Home Improvement Showcase, only here on WTMJ.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Workwear event is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality workwear styles at unbeatable prices. Like 30% off men's work and sport pocket tees, $10.49 each. Save $10 on Ariat Rebar Made Tough work pants. New at Blaine's, men's brunch workwear apparel, 25% off. Plus, earn $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 spent on Carhartt gear. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradenton Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradenton Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Yours brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Heiser's Snowy Roads Sweetheart Prices Sales event is happening now. Remaining 2024 models are priced to go. Looking for a vehicle that can handle our wintry roads? Get yourself a reliable all-wheel drive that can handle anything winter throws at you. With heated seats to top safety features and our exclusive Safe and Sound program, which includes roadside assistance for life, our vehicles are built to keep you cozy with peace of mind, even when the roads get slick. But hurry, our 2024 models are almost gone. So visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ. And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
Been discussing the Academy Awards. What is the Oscar-winning Best Original Song that has been the highest charting got me to wondering, and it actually has a tiny connection to Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. That's part of your hint. The highest charting song that also won an Academy Award for Best Original Song is from the movie Titanic. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. It's an international success. It topped the charts in over 25 countries. Not only did it win Best Original Song at the Academy Awards, it also won Record of the Year at the Grammys. And the Chippewa Falls connection, if you remember, Jack Dawson is from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Leonardo DiCaprio mentions it when he's first introducing himself. So enjoy some dialogue from Titanic and the Academy Award-winning song, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion from the epic film Titanic. It's the song you need to hear on What's on Tap.
Rose, you're the most amazingly astounding, wonderful woman that I've ever known. I'm not an idiot. I know how the world works. But I'm too involved now. You jump, I jump, remember?
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls. Wearing this.
All right.
Wearing only this.
Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime, and never let go till we're gone. Love was when I loved you one true time. I hold you in my life, will always go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door, and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
Right. Go on. I'll get the next one.
No, not without you.
I'll be all right. Listen, I'll be fine. I'm a survivor, all right? Don't worry about me. Now go on. Get on.
There's nothing I fear, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and
You must promise me that you won't give up. No matter what happens. Promise me now, Rose. I promise. And never let go of that promise.
I will never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
My Heart Will Go On from the movie Titanic, song that won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Gosh, even just the dialogue in there, it still sucks me in. And I made reference to the fact that there's a Wisconsin connection to that song. If you remember in the movie, Jack introduces himself as being from Wisconsin. And a fun text from the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Diane C. texted in regarding the movie Titanic and Jack's mention of Lake Wissota in Chippewa Falls. That's where they didn't do their research. Lake Wissota is a man-made lake and did not exist at the time of Titanic. Fun fact. Cheers, Diane. Thank you, Diane. I thought something about that. I didn't know if there was going to be enough time for me to share that, but I'm glad that you piped in with that fun fact, tying it into Wisconsin. I've got Wisconsin connections to Gene Hackman, the Oscars, and the Razzies to share with you after the news on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
With the help of Less's Glass, you can have the shower you've always wanted. Heavy glass shower enclosures from Less's Glass are installed by the best in the business. And when you have a showroom to visit with over a dozen glass shower enclosures on display, there's no guessing games. See the ultimate in frameless shower design with doors mounted on smooth as silk, stainless steel barn-style rollers. This design combines the beauty and elegance of heavy glass with a minimalist look to create an ideal shower enclosure for tight spaces. Premium shower doors and custom-designed all-glass enclosures. When you work with Less's Glass, you're working with a company that really can do it all. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions, get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey Milwaukee, it's Josh Albrecht here.
And I'm also Josh Albrecht. Join us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. on 620 WTMJ for Joshin' Around Milwaukee.
We're diving into the best of what makes this city great. Local events, hidden gems, and of course, everything Milwaukee.
It's your inside look at what's happening around town, places to visit, people to meet, and stories you won't want to miss.
Catch us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ and find extended episodes and content on visitmilwaukee.org. Let's get Joshin' Around.
Two Joshes are better than one.
Disrespectful, berated him for not thanking the U.S. for its help, and called off the signing of a minerals deal. Trump on his way to Florida afterward.
I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death
when Trump was asked about concerns he's aligning with Russia's President Putin.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way.
Vice President J.D. Vance jumping in.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
The Ukrainian president making the point that when they tried diplomacy in the past, Putin broke the deal.
ABC's Mary Bruce. U.S. officials tell ABC News there are discussions at the White House about cutting off ongoing military aid to Ukraine. Pope Francis, battling pneumonia, had a coughing fit at the hospital in Rome today, says the Vatican, as docs put him on a ventilator. No sign of carbon monoxide in the blood of Oscar winner Gene Hackman or his wife, say the medical examiner in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but they say that does not rule out CO poisoning. Sheriff Adon Mendoza.
Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa were transported to the office of the medical investigator. An autopsy was performed. Initial findings noted no external trauma to either individual.
More tests ahead. You're listening to ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? Owe the IRS $10,000 or more? With the IRS ramping up enforcement, taxpayers across the country are turning to tax relief helpers. Call 800-885-0622 now. End IRS stress today. Stop collection efforts, wage garnishments, and sleepless nights. Tax relief helpers can help you or your business settle your tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your relief today.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns millions of people around the world are at risk as U.S. foreign aid programs are cut.
I want to start by expressing my deep concern about information received in the last 48 hours by UN agencies, as well as many humanitarian and development NGOs, regarding severe cuts in funding by the United States.
Trump administration has terminated more than 90% of U.S. AIDS programs. Political fireworks in Los Angeles after the mayor fired the fire chief. Now the fire chief fighting to get her job back by going around the mayor. ABC's Alex Stone in L.A.
L.A. Mayor Karen Bass fired Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. Firefighters and their union have been vocally backing Crowley, saying she became a scapegoat for failures that were made by the mayor. The mayor was in Ghana when the fires broke out here in L.A. and blamed the chief for not telling her bad fire weather was arriving, even though warnings had been all over TV and radio broadcasts for days beforehand. Now Crowley is taking the extraordinary step of filing an appeal with the city council. In the unlikely event 10 of the 15 council members choose to keep Crowley, Mayor Bass's firing would be overturned.
The World Health Organization says a mystery illness that killed at least 60 people and sickened hundreds in northwestern Congo could have been caused by contaminated water. One doctor says they suspect a water source in the area may have been poisoned. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenix should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Abby Window.
Is your bathroom stuck in the 90s? Sick of looking at that pink and brass? Then it's time for an upgrade. Abby Home can customize a new tub or shower conversion just for you. If you like the look of tile, but don't want the maintenance and issues that come with it, we're your perfect fit. We pull all the permits, take it down to the studs, and get you a whole new look in 2 days. Go to myabbyhome.com to learn more. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months and get 20% off your project. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
Happy Friday night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is a pleasure to be here with you till 8 o'clock, and had a lot of fun conversation about the Academy Awards with Milwaukee Film's Kirsten Larson. She's the programming director, so responsible for a lot, especially around Milwaukee Film Festival time, which is coming up at the end of April. But really good to get her perspective on some of the nominees. You can always catch up on that conversation on the What's on Tap podcast and see how your opinions may compare. And I'm open to your opinions. The WTMJ Siding Unlimited talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Don't ever be shy. I care about your comments and your questions and whether or not you're all about the Oscars. Is it your Super Bowl of creativity, or are you just more interested in rearranging your sock drawer on Sunday night? What is your perspective on the Oscars or some of your picks? Siding Unlimited, WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. For example, Doug texted in earlier. What did he text in? I like the Oscars, but not as much as I used to. They had better hosts in the past years and has lost some of its appeal. It's okay. I get that. I do think with Conan O'Brien hosting this year that Sunday night will have an upbeat sense of fun that isn't vicious. Because sometimes the comedy can get a little mean, and that's uncomfortable for me, which I know uncomfortable comedy is also a thing as well. Larry David does it extremely well. But back to tonight's show, we're going to celebrate the last day of Black History Month. Doesn't have to end because there are so many stories to tell, particularly local history. And you've heard Judge Derek Mosley on WTMJ in a lot of different ways because he is such a bright, smart mind and a fun personality, and he celebrates Black History Month every single day annually on his social media. And he stopped by Wisconsin's Afternoon News yesterday and shared at least 3 stories that I want to share with you. That one particularly has to do with the music scene here in Wisconsin. So we'll get to that around 7:30. But in the meantime, like I said, welcoming your comments, opinions, questions about the Academy Awards, 855-616-1620 on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. And I did my research. Mike, if we're going to talk about these things, are there any Wisconsin connections? So I sniffed around, and with Gene Hackman, rest his soul, being in the news for the mysterious death of Gene Hackman, his wife, and one of his pet dogs just this past week, just a couple days ago, and that developing story, I'm like, well, what were some of are there any Wisconsin connections to Gene Hackman? I found one. Found a Wisconsin connection or two, actually, to the Oscars. And, the Razzies are happening tomorrow. So as much as Sunday celebrates the finest in filmmaking, the Razzies does not celebrate the worst in filmmaking. Well, they celebrate it, but you can get like a cardboard trophy. But there is a Wisconsin connection to the Razzies as well. So let's start, though, with Gene Hackman. And you realize what an accomplished actor he was. He passed away. He was 95. We just lost Bob Uecker. He was 91. So these really impactful, influential, accomplished men in our circle here in the creative world. And Gene Hackman in 1967 got his first Academy Award nomination, Bonnie and Clyde. Then he was nominated in 1970 for Best Supporting Actor for a movie called I Never Sang for My Father. Then the next year, he was nominated for Best Actor in The French Connection, and he won that year. Then his next Oscar nomination was for Best Actor in 1988 for the movie Mississippi Burning, about civil rights. And then his last Academy Award nomination was a big win in 1992, Best Supporting Actor for the movie Unforgiven. And in mentioning the movie Mississippi Burning, Hackman played an FBI agent character. His name was Agent Rupert Anderson, and it was a fictional character, but widely assumed to be based on a man named Joe Sullivan, who was a Wisconsin native, a UW-Madison alumnus, who led the real FBI investigation into the 1964 civil rights murders. He was born and raised in Hurley, Wisconsin, and Hackman really used a lot of influence from Joe Sullivan to create his character in Mississippi Burning, which got him nominated for Best Actor. So there's your Wisconsin thread to that, and there's another Wisconsin thread that I'm excited to share with you from Mississippi Burning and Gene Hackman. You know what it is? You know who else was in Mississippi Burning? Willem Dafoe, born in Appleton. He played Hackman's FBI partner, and Willem Dafoe might be in a tuxedo at the Oscars on Sunday because Nosferatu is nominated certainly for hair and makeup. So maybe we will see the cast of Nosferatu at the Oscars, and that could include Willem Dafoe, who was there last year with Mark Ruffalo, because Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo were in the movie Poor Things, which won Best Picture last year. So that's a Wisconsin connection to the Oscars. There's another Wisconsin connection. The Academy Award category for Best Original Song. There's a song there, and there's another, it's not a Wisconsin tie, but there's something interesting to observe about this year's Best Original Song. It's a movie called 688 that Tyler Perry did, and it's all about the 688th Battalion. It was the only all-black women's Army Corps that was deployed overseas during World War II. So this is a whole movie about that, and one of the members of that Army Corps was Corporal Anna Mae Wilson Robertson. She was born and raised right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so it helps tell that story. And you can watch the movie, 688, and you can hear the song in the movie. It's called The Journey, and it is, you can see that on Netflix. I wanted to make sure I could tell you where you could see 688. It is a Tyler Perry movie on Netflix, and the song from the movie, The Journey, performed by her, is called The Journey. But you know who wrote that song and has been nominated 15 previous times but never won is Diane Warren. So as many she's kind of the Susan Lucci of the Oscars when it comes to this category. She did win an honorary Academy Award in 2022 for her contributions to music and film because she's such a great songwriter. But could this be her year? I expect to hear a whole lot of applause if Diane Warren wins for The Journey. But there's another Wisconsin connection in the film to the Academy Awards. And then tonight, let's talk about the Razzies for a second. Producer Brian Kelly is with me tonight. And Brian, you've heard us talking about the Oscars.
Of course.
I'm going to read for you the Golden Raspberry Award nominations to see if you or any one of us have wasted our time on one of the worst films.
I can't wait.
Okay. Have you seen Borderlands, Joker Folie 2, Madam Web, Megalopolis, or Reagan?
I have not. I've avoided some of them, but I did want to watch the first one.
Borderlands?
Yeah, I did want to watch Borderlands at some point.
Well, I would say save your time, because not only is it nominated for Worst Picture, Cate Blanchett is nominated for Worst Actress. Both Jack Black and Kevin Hart are nominated for Worst Supporting Actor for Borderlands. So I would say maybe save your time and watch an Oscar-nominated movie instead.
Perhaps, or at least know that I'm going to be wasting my time.
Yeah. The other movies and actors, I won't read through all the actors, but the other movies that made it on the Razzies list: Dear Santa, Harold and the Purple Crayon, Unfrosted, which was the Jerry Seinfeld movie that nobody seemed to like, so I avoided that one.
I have no desire for that whatsoever, and I love Jerry Seinfeld.
I was just going to say, I feel like a lot of us, let's just preserve the Jerry Seinfeld that we know and love. The Crow, also on this list.
Highly anticipated. I heard nothing but bad things from people who anticipated it.
Mufasa the Lion King also makes it on this list, and Kraven the Hunter.
I wanted to watch Kraven. I just haven't gotten to yet.
Well, here's your Wisconsin connection to the Razzies. And it's I would say it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's accurate. The man who plays Reagan in Reagan is Dennis Quaid. And Dennis Quaid will be in Milwaukee in May. He's going to receive an award for I was like, I made my notes. There we go. I was like, I'm such a researcher. It's like, how do I not have my notes? Okay, there we go. Dennis Quaid played Ronald Reagan in the film Reagan. And I remember during the RNC in July, there were posters for Reagan, for this film everywhere, and it's screened here. But he will be in Milwaukee May 30th at Discovery World because Wisconsin Lutheran College has a big gala event, and Dennis Quaid will receive the 2025 Divine Servant Award from Wisconsin Lutheran College.
Oh, cool. I thought it was a Lifetime Achievement Award for his work in, for the Razzies for his work in Jaws 3.
Oh, no. It is. I wonder, well, see, again, I'm not going to fall down the wormholes, but it's fun. But part of the reason I think that he's getting the Divine Servant Award is he has basically like an infomercial show called Viewpoint with Dennis Quaid. And the Lutheran Social Services were featured last year in a nice way because they have a positive impact on some mental health services for Wisconsin families. So that's kind of the tie-in there.
Good for you, Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, exactly. Making a positive difference. But unfortunately, he may or may not have a Razzie to polish up.
Well, he's doing better than his brother. Let's just say that.
I always think of Randy Quaid, yeah. I always think of Christmas Vacation.
You serious, Clark?
Yeah. He is Brian Kelly, producer of What's on Tap. I am Sandy Max. Stay with us here on What's on Tap.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Hey there, I'm Sandy Max with WTMJ. It's the end of the work week. The weekend's ahead. But are you happy in your job? Well, let me tell you about some incredible career opportunities with my friends at Three Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. Three Pillars, rated the top senior living community in Wisconsin. That's a big achievement. It's also a certified great place to work, and they're hiring LPNs and RNs, with some starting at $41 per hour. You could get more based on shifts. And the best part, you'll make a difference in the lives of others every day at Three Pillars. Go to threepillars.org and click on that Careers tab to learn more.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important, because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Been talking about movies this episode of What's on Tap because the Oscars are coming up on Sunday. Get some insights from Milwaukee Film's Kirsten Larson. And if you want to catch up on some Oscars insights from Academy Award winner Jonathan Ridley and local composer and sound designer Josh Schmidt, catch up on the What's on Tap podcast. We had some really interesting conversations, and I value the opinion of people who are really in the film industry. And also in movie news this week, unfortunately, is the death of Gene Hackman, which is being investigated and is obviously going to be a topic for the next probably a few weeks as autopsies are done and investigations are done into the mysterious death of Gene Hackman, his wife, and one of his pet dogs. And I was talking about Wisconsin connections to Gene Hackman, and one of them being in the film Mississippi Burning. His character, he had researched a Wisconsin man from Hurley named Joe Sullivan, who had been an FBI agent leading the investigations in 1964 in those civil rights cases. And I forgot to mention there's another Wisconsin connection to Gene Hackman. Mel Brooks on Threads, on Threads had put out, I was privileged to know Gene Hackman because he played tennis with another Gene Wilder. And that Gene told him about a little role called the Blind Hermit in our movie Young Frankenstein. He said, "Do you think Mel would let me play it? I've always wanted to do a comedy. Needless to say, I was over the moon and he was perfect." So that's right. Gene Hackman in Young Frankenstein.
That was one of my favorite bits of his.
Oh, really?
It was so good.
He is Brian Kelly, producer of What's on Tap. That's a great pull. What's another one of your favorite Gene Hackman roles?
Oh, I mean, Hoosiers. I could watch Hoosiers anytime, all the time. Even though the whole movie is pretty much a montage, anytime he talks, it's just, I want him to be my coach.
That's a classic. Also, he was excellent and like an iconic Lex Luthor in those Superman movies of the early 80s.
Yeah, he had fun, and you almost rooted for him. When he was an evil guy, he was such a real person that you just almost rooted for his bad guys.
But that's also making people, no one's all good and no one's all bad. It's giving that depth to it rather than just a two-dimensional cartoon that it's easy to hate because they're just so terrible and unlikable and never do anything that's understandable or just isn't mean.
Yeah, his evil actions were motivated by real-life circumstances.
And on the Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ Talkin' text line, 855-616-1620, Peter texted in, "My most memorable Gene Hackman film from early in his career is 1972's The Poseidon Adventure, where he played a tough, unconventional pastor who led the only survivors after the New Year's Eve disaster where the old ship was toppled by a tsunami right at the stroke of midnight." That's a disaster film. That's a synopsis right there.
That's a nuts film.
But Peter, thanks for sending that in. That's a great point. And I just the phrase "tough, unconventional pastor." He had such a range of characters. And then in The Birdcage, where he plays the straight-laced dad.
Yeah, one more I got to mention is The Conversation, directed by Coppola. It's on my list of movies I have to watch and haven't and should have.
Yeah.
But it's like top 10 movies of all time ever made. The Conversation.
Okay, and I'm a movie that is not one of the top 10 movies of all time, but is a favorite in my home. A Hugh Grant film called Extreme Measures.
Oh, really? Is that the one with Dan Aykroyd?
I don't think Dan Aykroyd's in it, but Gene Hackman plays a really a vicious doctor who does experimental procedures on people that he shouldn't be doing experimental procedures are. And Hugh Grant is the doctor who's going to expose him, and thus the conflict is there. But it was one of the first films that Hugh Grant and his lady, Liz Hurley, at the time produced together.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yes.
I haven't...
Things I
haven't
know
seen
about
that one.
Hugh Grant. Yeah, so dig up Extreme Measures from 1996 if you want to see yet another role of Gene Hackman, but maybe go with Unforgiven if you really want to catch up on some of his finer roles. We have more with What's on Tap. You can join the conversation, the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talkin' text line, 855-616-1620.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Your weekend. Hey,
when your pipes burst, water heater's leaking, drains backing up, or whatever your plumbing problem is, the reliable plumbers at Quality are on hand 24/7 to fix your plumbing problem with fully stocked vehicles and lightning fast response times. This is Anthony Zanevsky. Call Quality first and get the signature service you deserve to fix your plumbing problem ASAP.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for how you can spend your weekend and come up with some cool ideas how to spend the rest of the year in the great state of Wisconsin. It is Experience Wisconsin. Saturdays at 1 o'clock, we will spin you around the state, tell you some cool places to go, introduce you to some fascinating people. It's Experience Wisconsin. On this week's show, it is beautiful Lake Geneva. And as we head into the Easter season, O&H Danish Bakery. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays right here on WTMJ.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do? Like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking. And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
I haven't had anything to eat for days, and being hungry hurts.
Going without oil changes can destroy your engine, but it doesn't compare to the effect of going without food. That's why the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee is determined to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. Through March 1st, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has donated over $890,000, providing more than 2.6 million meals to people across southeast Wisconsin, the majority being children and seniors. And with today's ongoing challenges, the need is greater than ever. So help the hungry while helping your vehicle. Get your oil changed by Adam Dealer Factory Trained Techs at a price as low or lower than independent shops. Visit an Adam member dealer near you.
For a list of participating dealers, visit adamm.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
There we go. One WTMJ fan heard me earlier talking about, wait a minute, you're going on a brewery tour in Europe? Oh, yeah. Come with me. Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic await us. How about 10 days in September to join me on a cultural beer and brewery journey through Europe? We're going to stop in Munich. Yeah, we're having beer. You got to stop in Munich. Salzburg and Vienna, also Prague, and we're going to visit some of the legendary beer landmarks like Hofbrauhaus in Munich, but also some of the maybe ones that you don't know about, like some of the older breweries like Stiegl Brewery in Austria. And the great thing about this WTMJ trip that I'm hosting is our group gets treated special. So when we show up to these private breweries and to the landmarks like Neuschwanstein Castle or Mirabell Palace, we get to pull up in our luxury motor coach and just sashay right on in. Not obnoxiously, but we just get that special treatment, and we can maximize your time rather than when you plan your own trip, you got to wait in line and you got to spend all that time booking different hotels and figuring out the journey. Steve Bertrand Travel, they've taken care of all of it for us. Get the brochure. Sandy@WTMJ.com is my email. I can email it to you, sandy@WTMJ.com, or just go to WTMJ.com or the WTMJ app. You can browse the brochure there. One more way to get it to you. Aren't you on your phone sometimes? Scroll right there. If you text to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and text line, text the word TRIP, T-R-I-P, text TRIP to 855-616-1620. TRIP, 855-616-1620. That way you can just open it up right there and scroll. And if you really like what you see, you can copy it and send it to a friend. Who do you want to travel with to sip beer and enjoy culture and music and sightseeing in Prague? I've not been to Prague yet. I've been to Munich and I've been to Vienna, so I can give some insights there. But Salzburg and Prague, I'm very excited to explore and let Steve Bertrand Travel handle all the logistics. It's just stress-free. I had a great time with my Beatles and Beyond trip to England a couple years ago. We're going to have a good time sipping beer and seeing the sights in Europe. Germany, Austria, and Czech Republic. Check 3 countries off in one trip. Join me, sandy@WTMJ.com. Send me an email. And we're going to learn about very cool sculpture of Martin Luther King Jr. next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
If you want to add a unique and stunning feature to your home, decorative art glass can be used in a variety of ways to really increase its wow factor. Think of adding a wonderful work of stained glass art to some of your exterior windows, foyer, or front door entry. We can make sure the measurements fit spot on, and you don't even have to replace the glass. You can just add the art glass over the top. It will add some real ambiance that changes as the sun moves throughout the day. And a paint of protection too, which never hurts. Our decorative glass artists are delightful to work with, and they just might give you some ideas that you love, but never even thought of. There's so much of the same out there. Adding a customized work of stained glass art to one or more of your home's windows can really set it apart. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
The last day of Black History Month does not mean we are going to skip it. Yesterday, Wisconsin's Afternoon News spotlighted Black History Month, and one of the most interesting pieces was by Julia Fellow as we get to know the sculpture of Martin Luther King Jr.
It is a statue that pops out at you as you drive along MLK Drive and Vine. It's of the late Martin Luther King Jr., who stands about 15 feet tall. The civil rights leader looks like he's captured mid-speech with his right hand stretched in front of him and a pose that looks like he's about to move his left foot.
And I also wanted to make him look like he is alive, like he's stepping off, kind of launching.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
Yes.
It is making it feel like it's really projecting.
That's the artist who made the silica bronze statue, Eric Blom.
So I wanted to capture that I have a dream speech.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
When you get closer, you see so many more details. Bloem's statue has King standing on a stack of books that were so important to the late civil rights leader.
That he's standing on all of that, that this is his foundation.
They include books by Mahatma Gandhi, works of Aristotle, and the Holy Bible.
The accumulation of knowledge. So I wanted to show that in the sculptures.
The attention to detail made him stand out from the rest when the YWCA put out a call for artists to create an MLK statue, which was placed just down the street from their Milwaukee headquarters back in 1997.
I did it all by hand.
He worked hard to create creases in the suit and small shoelaces, even the veins in the bronze hands.
Working on the head and hands separate.
One thing people who selected him did not know at the time was that the River West artist was struggling to make ends meet and did not know if this was the last statue he would ever make. But soon after the statue was unveiled, he got another call.
Rosa Parks' niece called me and said, we're putting up this museum about Rosa Parks, and we'd like to see if you could do a sculpture of her for the front lobby. That got me started in some deep research on Rosa Parks' life.
His sculpture of Rosa Parks would be recast in bronze in Dallas and Lafayette, Louisiana, helping his career take off. He would make more MLK statues, including a bust in the Caribbean, which he learned was a haven for King and his family.
At the time, it was a place to feel safe. You could go there for security and safety.
Bloem still has ties to Milwaukee with a home in River West, and from time to time, you may see him cleaning up the statue to protect the image of a man he never met.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Julia Fellow with a wonderful piece about that Martin Luther King Jr. statue that you can see and pay respects anytime. Black History Month, Judge Derek Mosley is just a wealth of information and loves to share stories. Paramount Records, Lake Ivanhoe, and some World War II history. Hear all that next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount
February
of the three.
28th,
Because
the last
honesty
day of Black...
breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Finally home. Oh, God, what's wrong?
I'm tired of this old, beaten down, ugly garage door.
All right, it's not that bad.
Really? It's so old.
Yeah?
And it breaks all the time.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
It's dirty, it's loud, it doesn't even close.
Give your old garage door new life. Get a new garage door from Lifetime Door Company. Register to win a free door plus free installation at WTMJ.com.
It doesn't even close and the track is dented.
Okay, you've made your point.
Look at the windows, they're busted.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news. online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
February 28th, the last day of Black History Month, but oh, so many stories to share about African American culture, creativity, and the impact that we may not even realize. Here to help us learn in a lively, engaging way is one of Milwaukee's smartest and brightest people, former Judge Derek Mosley, who now works at Marquette University. Well, Derek Mosley was a guest on Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John Mercure and Julia Fellow yesterday. Listen up, music fans. Judge Mosley starts with this story.
So my favorite story of all time and with Wisconsin is the Wisconsin Chair Company. It was in Port Washington, Wisconsin. They were making chairs, and then they made record player cabinets, and then they decided they would start a record company and put albums in the record player cabinets to sell more record player cabinets. And they moved to Grafton, started Paramount Records, and they invited all the best blues artists of the time to come to Grafton to record records. To come to Grafton. So Blind Lemon Jefferson, Ma Rainey, Sun Ra, some of the best. From 1920, 1923, 25% of all blues music came out of Grafton.
I knew a bit about the Paramount Records story, but to hear Judge Derek Mosley put it in perspective was impressive. Now, have you ever been to Lake Ivanhoe, Wisconsin? Derek Mosley tells Lake Ivanhoe's origin story.
Yeah. 3 black middle-class businessmen in Chicago work with a bunch of white middle-class men who come home every Monday, come to work every Monday, refreshed. And they're like, why are you so refreshed? Like, oh, we got a place in Lake Geneva. So they went up to Lake Geneva to buy a place. No one was selling property. And so they're heading home. They pass a lake. There's no land around it. They tried to buy that lake. They won't do it. So they meet an insurance guy by the name of Alan Bell, who lives in Evanston, Illinois. He says, I'll go buy it for you. And he goes up, buys the land, gives it to, sells it to these 3 guys, and they start the Black Lake Geneva called Lake Ivanhoe. It's an amazing story. The first, all African-American community in southeastern Wisconsin.
People don't realize that type of history where Black Americans couldn't go even, and buy land in certain areas.
Yeah. Even the story I told you about Grafton.
Yeah.
Grafton was a sundown town. So when the sun went down, blacks weren't allowed to be there. So they had to travel back to Milwaukee.
The musicians?
So that's the reason why they ultimately left, because they couldn't keep going back and forth. Wow. And they went to Chicago and started recording there.
So what is Lake Ivanhoe like today?
Oh, it's great. It's still there. There's only a few black families still there. And what's wild is all of the streets are named after famous black people. And so when you're driving through Lake Ivanhoe, that's how I found it. I'm driving around. I'm like, wow, all these streets are named after black people. But I didn't see any black people. I was like, this is amazing.
Has it been recognized now? Is it a historical designation?
Yes, absolutely, John. About 2 years ago, the state of Wisconsin put up a marker commemorating this community because they built this $20,000 field house in 1920. It was $20,000. Yes. Wow. And Cab Calloway opened it. Cab Calloway.
No kidding.
Yep, absolutely.
Heidi ho. Imagine Cab Calloway there in Lake Ivanhoe. Great stories from Judge Derek Mosley. He loves sharing the knowledge that he has every year during Black History Month. And he's done it, for almost 10 years now as a daily post on his social media. And there's another story with a Milwaukee tie, and it's about the 688. And Tyler Perry even has done a movie about the 688. This is Judge Derek Mosley explaining.
World War II, and soldiers are being dispatched all across Europe. And while they're being dispatched fighting, they're going from town to town. Family members are sending cookies, cakes, letters, cards that they can't get to them. So they store them in this warehouse. Mary McLeod Bethune goes to her good friend Eleanor Roosevelt and says, why don't we put this unit together of black women to go and put the mail together? So they did. They formed the 688s Postal Battalion, and they weren't issued guns, ironically enough, and they get shipped off to Europe, and they walk into a warehouse, and there was 15 million pieces of mail.
Wow.
And they set up a system to get the mail to soldiers that is still used by the military today. They worked 3 shifts. Each shift worked 58,000 pieces of mail in their shift. They did 24-hour-a-day shifts. They got it done in 3 months. Their prize, another warehouse. They still have to go do some more. War ends. These women are just discharged, completely discharged. And they're the only mostly predominantly black unit of women that fought in World War II, that were part of World War II. I do a story on this for my Black History Facts. It gets to the daughter of a woman, and she's like, I saw your story. I'm like, oh, that's great. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. She's like, my mom's a 688. I'm like, what?
Wow.
And then she's like, well, are you sitting down? Like, yeah. She's like, she lives in Milwaukee. I'm like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
So I actually went to her 100th birthday.
Oh,
Yep. Went to her 100th birthday party. She is an amazing, amazing woman. Was fortunate enough to get the Congressional Medal. There were 4 of the women left out of the 855 of them. 4 were left to get the medal. And I'm hoping, I think she turns 101 in March. So
that's remarkable. And that's Anna Mae.
Anna Mae Robertson.
Of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Anna Mae Robertson. And Judge Derek Mosley paying great tribute to all of these stories. And truly, he loves to share the Black History Month stories daily as an annual tradition to enlighten us, to give Milwaukee proud reminders, and just keep these legacies alive. And he tells them in just such engaging ways. You can tell that he's excited and interested in the content. Look up Judge Mosley on social media. That's at Judge Mosley. Another person who kind of walks the walk for Black History Month all the time is Academy Award winner John Ridley. He was born in Milwaukee, grew up here in Wisconsin, started No Studios in downtown Milwaukee as a creative hub to keep our creative talents and even the economy building in our state. Well, John Ridley won the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for the true story of 12 Years a Slave in 2014. He keeps making movies. His last movie was called Shirley, all about Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman elected to U.S. Congress. Well, we had a chance to chat with John Ridley earlier this week. We're going to get John Ridley's insights on the Academy Awards next on What's on Tap.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. If you like being prepared like I do, you know the value of a generator. When the power goes out, it's a terrible inconvenience. And that's why Quality installs effortless whole home generators that give you power when everybody else's is out. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve and whole home generators that make power outage fears subside.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ. Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
I'm Sandy Max. Thanks for hanging out with me on What's on Tap, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And you've joined me in the midst of a Zoom call with Academy Award winner John Ridley. You know him from 12 Years a Slave. His most recent movie was all about Shirley Chisholm, called Shirley. So wonderful for him to join us on What's on Tap and announce that Dance Fest 2025 is happening on Saturday, August 2nd at the Marcus Center Pack Pavilion. This is the 4th annual, which is just great that it's become a tradition and has become the biggest dance festival in the country. So when John Ridley started No Studios and wanted Milwaukee to be a creative hub, he wasn't messing around. He really put himself into it. And from dance to documentaries, let's get back into this chat with John Ridley. He's also co-host of a podcast that is all about documentaries. He's been doing it for the past couple of years.
Yeah, the name of the podcast, Doc Talk. It's so simple, you can't help but remember it. But we talk documentaries. My partner, Matt Carey, who's the senior documentary editor at Deadline.com, and Deadline is one of the most respected industry sites that there is.
So we can't talk just days before the Academy Awards with your own Oscar statuette. Can I ask you just a couple of things about the awards? Okay, I know we'll talk about documentaries, but I got to get your opinion on Best Picture. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, I have. And look, I'm in a weird position because I was fortunate enough to have my name called, and it's special. There's nothing more special than having your peers look at your work and say that it has value. At the same time, it's to me, it's not all about that. And I really genuinely don't pay attention in terms of it being a horse race. I just am at the point where I'm like, it's all great. And if whatever you think, did you enjoy it personally? Did you like it? I get what the awards are about. I get how important it is to have films elevated, how life-changing it can be. But for me at this point, and even though I'm a voter and I vote sort of selectively, I don't vote across the board, it's just, I'm just happy for everybody. I really, really am. Getting a movie made is harder and harder every year. And if you get your name called, great. But there are good things about it. There are not so good things about it. So I don't really have an opinion.
Okay.
I do follow the docs.
Sure.
I don't want to say because we talk about all the docs, and there are three in particular among the five. Look, they're all great, but I think there are three. I don't know how you separate them at all.
Who's your front runner for the doc, or which did you enjoy the most? I'm not asking. Oh, can't even.
But I'll say the doc that I enjoyed the most this year, and I will say this openly, I think the doc that I would elevate that did not get shortlisted was Seeking Mavis Beacon, a truly amazing documentary by two up-and-coming filmmakers. They're the next generation of filmmakers. It's an amazing story about identity and marketing and, the Gen Zers, Gen X, or whatever the next generation would, it's just a documentary that should have gotten more recognition. And I will openly say, and I say this with respect to the doc branch, that was not a film that should have been ignored. I easily could have found room for that in the short list. So if you're going to ask me, rather than, sit through the five, I'll elevate the one that should be elevated. And Seeking Mavis Beacon, an amazing, amazing documentary film, an amazing film, period.
And honestly, those are the insights that I appreciate more of your opinion and what you think could and should have been seen. And I'm interested to find out just how passionate you are about documentaries. But now I think about it, Best Adapted Screenplay was 12 Years a Slave, based on a real story. You just did a biopic about Shirley Chisholm, based on a real person and a real story. What is it about the true stories that compels you? And do you ever really enjoy creating fiction because you love the true story so much?
Yeah, look, it's interesting you talked earlier about me and my qualities. The one class that I did very well in was history. And I love history. We, none of us, myself included, really understand history and who we are. And I know it's an old saw. If you don't understand the past, you're going to make the same mistakes in the future. History doesn't really repeat itself. It kind of rhymes. To me, the things that I learn, if nothing else, I get to learn. And if somebody's paying me to learn, that's his own kind of genius in its own kind of way. So, I'm working on a documentary now. It's quite painful, the subject matter, but I feel like it's very necessary. I want people to go, wow, I didn't know that. I gotta go look this up. and hopefully get people to find the joy and the rigor that I find in other spaces.
Can you tell us what the subject of your documentary is?
Want to hold on to it for a beat,
Very
but
good.
when the time is right, you'll be among the first to know.
I'm so glad that Academy Award winner John Ridley would share his honest thoughts, because I guess I thought he was going to say, hey, you know, I know these people in this film and I'm really rooting for them, but he really is like, doesn't want to deal with the politics of the Academy Awards and the commercialism part of it. He really is supportive of creators who want to create, and he, as a filmmaker himself in both fiction films and documentaries, he knows how hard it is to get a team together, how expensive it is, and if you can just make a film that is your vision, that in itself is an accomplishment. So, like I said, I thought he was going to back a winner, but he's just happy that people can pursue their creativity. If you would enjoy hearing that full conversation with John Ridley, we have the extended interview podcasted. Go to WTMJ.com or the WTMJ app, or honestly, just search for podcasts wherever you listen. Look for What's on Tap. It'll pop up right there, and you can give a listen or share it with a friend. And speaking of making choices, you want to travel with me? In September, I'm going to Europe on a trip that is focused on beer and breweries in Munich, Salzburg, Vienna, and Prague. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Send me an email, sandy@WTMJ.com, sandy@WTMJ.com. Pop me a note. I will send you the brochure. You can also find it online at WTMJ.com. Steve Bertrand Travel plans an excellent trip. We're going to enjoy beer. We're going to enjoy culture, history, architecture, you name it, for 10 days in September. Get all the details on this fabulous trip. Email me, sandy@WTMJ.com, and let's check off 3 countries in one trip: Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Have a great rest of your weekend.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.